What's up, guys? It's Jake, the Ticket Leprechaun, back with my 2020 YouTube Hall of Fame ballot. But before I get to that, I wanted to give a shout out to Smitty because he recommended I open the big unit when I shoot some videos to show all my Hall of Fame baseballs behind me there. Let me know what you think of that because Smitty's not on this list because he's looking for the approval of nobody. Shout out, Smitty. All right, so a couple things. I think that everyone needs some sort of qualifications for how they choose their vote. Otherwise, everyone says there's a lot of great channels. How do I narrow it down? So I put in some qualifications I have every year to help narrow it down for me. So beyond having to be on YouTube and making content for a year, which is one of Mike's rules, mine is you have to have 500 or more subs. That's just the way I look at it. I think that's a good milestone benchmark to say you've got enough of a following that you can be considered for the Hall of Fame. Just my personal view. I don't even qualify for that. I don't have 500. The other one is you need to have an outstanding collection. You know, what makes you Hall of Fame worthy? What makes you different than all the other channels? And that's just one of the qualifications I use, that you have an outstanding collection. So I'm going to go through my list. I've got all my nominations. I've got a couple that were dropped from my ballot from last year. I'll explain those. And then I've got the Road to the Hall, the second year that I have done that pretty cool thing that I like to do in addition to the regular ballot. Number one. This guy is the most generous guy on YouTube, bar none. Greatest care packages I've ever seen. Everything I have seen and watched about him says he was a great guy in person at the National. He has an incredible collection. The stuff that he has given away would be better than most people's collections on YouTube. Let that sink in for a minute. This is none other than Blue Jacket 66, Dave. 1.17 thousand subscribers at the time of this video. I'm sure Mike will be reading your name and welcoming you to the YouTube Hall of Fame shortly. Number two, this guy has the best Hall of Fame autograph collection on YouTube. Yes, that includes Mike, Baseball Collector, and he will tell you the same thing, that this guy is number one. He's number one. He is a returner from my ballot from last year. I voted for him last year. He should have got in then. Now, to be clear, he has 463 subs. Yes, that breaks my own rule of 500 subs. He's the only exception. He is Sandy Koufax. The greatness that he has to only garner 463 subs, it's like Koufax only being great for 7 years and then retiring after basically 10. His name is Bill, the Hall of Fame collector. And I swear, if Bill doesn't get into the Hall of Fame, Mike, I'm going to drive to Texas to your house and burn it down. I'm not having it. Sorry about that. Got a little caught up in my support for Bill. In all seriousness, I'm kidding, okay? This whole contest is for fun. It's for everybody to have a really cool community event that everybody comes together on, okay? But keep it in mind, Mike. All right, Bill should get in. Number three. This is a unique channel for a couple of reasons. The first one I want to point out is I had this channel on my Road to the Hall of Fame in the past. And now this channel I have seen mentioned on a lot of other ballots. I think they have a great chance to get in. Great video production, great collection, a lot of vintage, got some modern, a mix of everything, but a real standout in our community for those reasons. Now, I mentioned all those things first because she is also, see what I said there? She is also a very important member of our collection. She's probably the most prominent female channel of YouTube and the only one that I know in our card collecting community. So leave their own, Caitlin. I hope that you make the Hall this year. Number four is my second returner from my ballot in 2019. I only have 2 returners. This channel has over 1,000 followers and has been a continuing channel that keeps producing and producing and producing content. I know he goes to the National every year. I watch all of his videos. And somebody I don't see really getting as much love as I would expect on the ballots I've seen so far. But I think Dave's midlife card crisis deserves a vote. Dave, you're on my ballot. The next person is proof, with his 536 subscriptions, that my vote can be bought. He sent me a Ronald Acuna Jr. and Ozzie Albies Topps Chrome rookie cards before I had any. He exchanged them for some goofy cards of guys blowing bubble gum, but it was a fair trade. Moral of the story, my ballot can be bought. The fifth person on my ballot is Bob Lewis. And that's some comedy that you can find on Bob's channel. The irony, the satire, and that's part of the reason I love it. He's got a lot of top-end cards, even though he likes showing the funny cards a lot of the time. And Bob's a great guy. He did not buy my vote, let me be clear. But I think he's deserving of the Hall of Fame. Number 6. I remember this guy long before he had 704 subscriptions, as I was one of his first subscribers, I believe. I watched every single video. I still try and watch every single video of his, as his vintage collecting is even older than mine. My sets go all the way back to 1933 and span through 1979 and a little bit of everything in between, with a couple of T206s sprinkled in there, but I'm not jumping into that. Don't let me get sidetracked. Andrew, Nuff Said Cards, is one of the preeminent minds on pre-war cards for vintage in our community. That's been said many times. It's true. He's definitely worthy of a Hall of Fame vote. Number 7. In a way, it's impressive that this guy gets my vote because I'm a baseball card guy. I collect basketball too, but of the big 3 sports, football is the last one that I am interested in. Sure, I watch the NFL, I play fantasy football, all that good stuff. But football, you know, I'm not really going to watch your video if it's football cards. This guy I will watch football card videos for. That's a big deal coming from me. Now, he also collects baseball. He does the top 250 cards in the hobby. But his collection is not only top end, but he draws in an audience for things people aren't even interested in. That's a great example there. I'm very interested in your baseball cards, Scott. Don't get me wrong. Okay, don't take that the wrong way. But Scott, SCONNIE Tradition, he has 548 subs, and I think he's worthy of a Hall of Fame vote. Number 8. This guy easily has the least number of videos of anybody on my list. But what won me over was actually Mike's episode of Beyond Cardboard with this guy. When I watched that, I said, man, I got to check out this guy's channel. I've not heard of him before. He has a huge following. He has 916 subscribers. Very knowledgeable guy. And he looks at things from an investing standpoint a lot of times. Has a lot of high-end cards. Tells a lot of great stories. He's a very transparent guy. And I enjoy that. I'm a transparent guy. So this vote goes to Mark Fu 3112. Hope you get in, man. Number 9. This guy burst onto the scene, and to be quite frank, I was late to the game, to his channel, and I heard about him through Mike, like many of you guys probably did. He does some baseball, but a lot of basketball stuff, and one of the modern guys he does is Russell Westbrook. Now, I love Russell Westbrook because I've had him in fantasy for several years as a keeper, so it's been kind of fun watching him average a triple-double back-to-back years and still being great while he's on the Rockets. So I relate to him a little bit in that way. But he also seems to be a really down-to-earth guy. He really interacts with the community. That's great. A lot of people do, but he takes it another level. He does a lot of collaborative shows and that kind of stuff, and that gets him a bump. Not to mention, he has 772 subscribers. That's over double what I have. So, that's got to be worth something. So, Andy, she blinded me with refractors. I hope you get in. And 10. This guy is younger than me. That's pretty rare on YouTube. Yes, I'm calling all of you old. I'm 28 years old. I'll be 29 this year. So I'm on the younger end of guys that have their own channels here in our community. But this guy is 7 years younger than me. He hosts a great channel and a great podcast he also puts on YouTube that I really enjoy, that's about super collecting. I love listening to that. It's a video that I can watch as I'm driving. I really just listen to it. So I really enjoy those. It's something a little bit different that I like. He has 771 subscribers already. He also dabbles in, well, not dabbles so much. He's a full-blown dealer now, card dealer, which is something I used to do myself, so I enjoy those videos when he talks about that and shares his stories. But this is none other than JT Triple Crown 24. I hope you get in this year. So that completes my list of 10. Now, before I get into the road to the hall, I want to talk about the 2 channels that were dropped from my ballot from last year. Because I like to go back and look at my ballot and see how I did, and you know, if some of my guys got in, or if I need to vote for them again, and that sort of thing. 2 guys. Number 1 is KG Sports Cards. He has over 15,000 subscribers. He has a pretty great collection, but I dropped him off my ballot. Nothing personal. He's got a great channel. He's got a good collection. It's just, I don't get the sense, and I could be wrong, I don't get the sense that he's like a really interactive guy in the community. He's probably going to comment on this and prove me wrong, but that's why I dropped him. He's not one of those guys that just like jump up on my timeline all the time of like him doing stuff in the community. So that's why I dropped. Number 2 that dropped from my ballot from last year, The Collector. Again, incredible collection, plenty of subs, but kind of the same thing as KG Sports Cards. Not really an interactive guy, and I think that's a piece that goes into the YouTube Hall of Fame. That's that community aspect. It's like the character clause. You know, no one really applies it, but I am in this case, okay? So lastly, one of my favorite sections of my ballot every year, I call it the Road to the Hall. I mentioned Caitlin previously, that she was on my road to the Hall, that she would get in eventually, someone I would be looking at voting for in the future. Here's my list of the Road to the Hall. B. Roth 6, Brian. He has 393 subscribers. I see him getting a lot of votes this year. You may never have to need my vote, Brian. You may get in anyways. But the only reason he got cut short is that 500 subscribers. Sorry, man. I got to draw the line somewhere, right? Next is Groundchuck, Kyle. Love his channel. We're good friends. He has 364 subscribers. Kind of the same thing as B. Roth, just not quite to that level of recognition in my eyes to be considered for my vote. That's the case with a lot of these channels. Geez, Mikey, 403 subscribers. Man, you were this close to making my vote even tougher on me. Bowman 53, Alex, 371 subscribers, right there on the horizon. Impact Player, Josh, 306, man. You're right on the same range as me, a little bit ahead of me in subs. So maybe we can make it into the Hall of Fame, 2030 or something. Psyched on baseball cards, Tony, 586 subs. He was a really, really tough cut for me. I'm sorry, Tony. I can only get 10 votes, man. Maybe you'll get it next year, or maybe you'll get in and not need my vote. Passion for Cards, Matt, 504 subscribers. The guy has a 52 mantle. I mean, that alone should get him in the conversation. Again, a tough cut for me. Finally, Hot Corner Collection, 543 subscribers. Another really close one that I just didn't have enough spots on the ballot. So hopefully, all of my nominees will have a great chance this year. There's only one more thing that I would like to say before I say keep collecting. God bless and let you guys go. And that's the fact that if Bill Hall of Fame Collector isn't like Mariano Rivera and gets 100% of the vote, you know what's going to happen, Mike. But seriously, this is for fun. I was joking on a lot of the things that I said in the video. I hope everybody can take it in stride that it is for fun. Special shout out to Mike. Thank you for all the time you put into it. Thank you for putting together one of the best events we have for this community and the YouTube Hall of Fame. I look forward to it every year. Thank you for continuing to do it. I hope that I am considered sometime in the next decade. Until next time, thank you guys. Keep collecting. God bless.